So you're a divorced woman and you have no idea how to navigate all the challenges of post-divorce dating. Well, today's episode is for you. I am going to tell you what you need, a GPS, so that you can navigate the absolute challenges in these muddy waters of post-divorce dating. Tune in. If you are old enough to remember getting in a car without a GPS, this episode, and quite frankly, every episode moving forward, are really going to be, for you, really relatable. So I've decided to, which I'm really excited about, create a format for my podcast. And so we're divorced women dating, and we need some kind of structure. We can't just be all over the place. We can't get in the car and plug into the GPS. I have no fucking idea where I'm going. It won't take you anywhere. It might say, I don't recognize that address, So what we need is some clarity. And the format that I'm so excited to share with you all is that of a GPS. So divorced women dating is now going to be structured in a way where I'm going to offer you a G, a P, and an S each episode. And the G stands for grounding and really getting clear. So it's getting clear. And the way to do that is by grounding yourself. And we'll talk lots and lots about that. The P is for preparing for love. Also, I'll refer to it as positioning. So really, like if you're going to get in the car, you want to ground yourself like, okay, I know this is where drive is. This is where park is. Positioning your hands in the right place so you can drive and navigate the wheel. And then the S, so the first is G, is grounding or getting clear. The P is for preparing for love or positioning, and the S is for stepping forward. In other words, steering the wheel of your life so that you can really drive your car to a great relationship, to drive your heart and your soul into a great relationship. And when you start dating and you recognize, hey, I think I might have made a wrong turn here, you'll hear recalculating. How many times have you heard that on your GPS? So really that's what we're going to do here. And as per usual, I will always offer you a journal prompt, and maybe we'll do a little exercise before we end today. But we're going to dive into grounding today, and I will go through all of the different pieces of how to prepare yourself for a successful dating journey and then hopefully a successful relationship. And if the successful relationship is with yourself, that is more important than any relationship you'll ever have. And the stronger that relationship gets, the better success you will have in your dating journey and in other relationships. So let's talk about grounding and getting clear. I guess what I want to start with is, why is this important? And grounding ourselves in this very moment and in who you are. And if you don't know who you are, that's okay. That's why this will help. The reason to do this is because it really gives you an opportunity to get clarity around what you want, what you don't want, and to attract a partner from a place of love, not a place of desperation, not a place of anxiety or fear, a place of attracting a partner from a place of calmness within yourself and really confidence, like really being authentic and confident in who you are and carrying yourself in a way that makes you feel proud as you go through your dating journey. And some people's journeys are short, some others are long, some are easy, some are challenging. But if you've been dating for a while, post-divorce, or even if you're new to the game, grounding yourself is critically important. For example, even before you go on any date, or even before you talk to somebody that you both swiped right on each other, before you have a conversation with this person, it's helpful to just close your eyes, take a breath, and ask yourself, how do I want to show up? Not will I be good enough? Will he like me or she like me? But more about who do I want to be? Will I like me as I handle myself? And it's okay to have doubts and all of that. But taking a moment to just catch your breath, put your feet on the ground, literally and metaphorically, will help you. Obviously, divorce is massively challenging on so many levels. We've talked about, financially, whether you're a parent or not, it can be tough for kids, logistically moving, socially. Sometimes you have friends that stay with you, some that leave, choose the other person's side. I guess my point is that divorce can really wreak havoc on our nervous systems. So grounding helps us be more conscious and intentional and respond instead of autopilot, just reacting. Oh my God, this guy said he was going to call and he didn't call and now he's ghosting me and I'm freaking out. And okay, take a breath. Take a breath. It's okay. It's okay. This will happen lots and lots of times. And you may do it to some men out there as well. Again, I'm talking in heterosexual terms, but it applies to whatever your, however you identify. Without grounding, we also risk we take the risk of missing red flags. If we're so frantic and so focused on what this other person is going to be about and be like, they might show us who they are. And for example, I'll tell you a story in a moment, and we might miss it. So relatively recently, I was speaking with a really intelligent man. I thought really kind, handsome, very attracted to him. And the banter was great. It was just really fun and flirty and wonderful. And we met for a first date, and I wasn't impressed necessarily with the place he chose, but I said, okay, let's go there. And we met for the first date, and he made many, many comments about the cost of things, which became a real turnoff for me. My point being is that obviously he was incredibly conscious of money, and that's okay. But if I wasn't grounded in myself, I might have not necessarily missed it, but I might have dismissed it. Not missed it, but dismissed it as, oh, so what? He's got all these other great things. But I always go back to Maya Angelou's my favorite quote of hers, which was, when people show you who they are, believe them. And I believe people show you who they are in the first 5 minutes of meeting them. So why go on a second date? Why go on a third, fourth, fifth date and keep something going if you already have not all the details, but enough information in that first 5 minutes? So, needless to say, we didn't go out on a second date. In any case, grounding is really important so that you are aware and have your eyes wide open. Another thing I love about the grounding piece is that it allows us to kind of reset emotionally. It anchors us in the present moment. And so oftentimes, I mean, how often have you gotten stuck in thinking, and kind of like what they call like forecasting, predicting the future? Well, if this doesn't happen, then I know that's going to happen. And what if that happens? And wait a minute, hang on, you don't know. I'm assuming you're not psychic. So, be here now in this very moment, not living in the past. Not everybody is going to be like your ex-husband or your ex-wife. Be here now and give people a chance and give yourself a chance. So grounding allows us to do that. So how do you ground yourself? Well, for those of you who have done some therapy, who are open to the journey of psychological and spiritual evolving, I'm sure that you have come across a wonderful breathing exercise, whether it's box breathing, where you inhale to the count of 4, you hold it for the count of 4, and then you exhale for the count of 4. Or, there are so many variations. You can do whatever works. But I do think sometimes even just taking a deep cleansing breath and making a sound when you sigh, when you exhale, that's also a way to reset our nervous system. So Just a sigh like that resets everything inside. So I don't care what kind of breathing exercise you do, but there are so many good ones. Google them, go on YouTube, look for some meditations that might help you feel more grounded. Also, having awareness of your body. Sometimes with anxious clients or clients who've been through trauma, what I'll have them do is like literally touch like every part of your body. Touch your head, touch your hands, shoulders, knees, and toes. For those of you who know that song from when my kids were little, I used to sing that. Um, but you put your hands on your head, on your shoulders, your arms, hold your hands, your legs, your feet, like your stomach, everything, because to just it kind of like wakes us up and it wakes our body up and says, oh yeah, like, okay, I'm not just in my head, I'm a whole person with a whole body. And it can be, again, refreshing and grounding. Another thing you can do is to just move your body, go exercise, go work out, go for a run, do 10 jumping jacks or 10 push-ups or something. It really helps. And then if it's not, dangerous outside, in terms of like, I don't know, walking through a construction site, you're not going to do this, but, but walking barefoot, particularly in the grass, can be incredibly grounding. Being outside in nature can also kind of help us reset a little bit. And something about our feet, literally, again, and metaphorically on the ground really helps us come back to the moment. What else can you do? To ground, you can journal. So pen to paper and just write, or if you're somebody who prefers the computer, type away. And doesn't matter what you type, doesn't matter what you say, just pour it out. Pour it all out. It needs to come out. Another thing you can do to ground is to set daily intentions. What do I want to accomplish today? How do I want to walk through my day today, whether I'm going to work or I have to run the kids here or to there, soccer practice, CCD, Hebrew school, whatever. Setting a daily intention and really trying to stay focused on it. Kind of like when you go to a yoga class and they'll ask you, set an intention for your practice in this class. That can be profoundly helpful. I mentioned meditation, time in nature, mindfulness, and then using the five senses. I imagine you've heard this one too, where you name 5 things that you see. So there's your vision. 4 things that you hear. 3 things that you can smell. 2 things that you can taste. And 1 thing that you can touch. So you're using all 5 senses. And as you go through that, what it almost forces you to do is to be in the moment, right? Wait, what 4 things can I hear? Or what 3 things can I taste? Or so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, going through all the senses. So again, those are some of the things you can do. Breathing exercises, body awareness, movement exercise, walking barefoot, particularly in the grass, not at a construction site, journaling, daily intentions, meditation, time in nature, and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the census exercise. Very helpful. So you might ask me, Stacey, what are the benefits of this? Like, I just got divorced. I don't have time for this grounding bullshit. Like, why am I even doing this? How is this going to help me in my dating journey? Well, again, what it allows you to do is to be clear about who you are, what values you have and morals you have and what you're seeking. And by the way, if you don't know what to plug into that GPS, I have no idea where I'm going. It could be as simple as I want company for this Saturday night. I want a date for a concert I have tickets for. I want companionship. I want to share dinner with somebody. That could be your goal. That's okay. Other people might say, well, I want to find another husband, or I want to live with somebody. Other people might say, I would never want to find another husband. I just want to have great sex. Like, do whatever you want. But in being clear about what you're seeking comes from grounding yourself in a moment or a few or many moments, by the way. So again, it allows us to date with intention. Another benefit of grounding is that it allows us to manage some of the The lows. I don't want to say the highs because the highs are easy. The highs, oh, he called me back. He likes me. Like, this is exciting. This is fun. That's easy. The lows, though, wait a minute. He said he was going to call. He didn't call. I guess he's not that interested. Remember that book years ago? I guess he's not that into you. That will happen. That will definitely happen. People might ghost you. That will happen. So when you are more grounded, it is so much easier to not personalize it and to just go with the flow. Like, this is just a part of the process. It really is. It's not always about you. So it helps you to manage rejection better and ghosting better. And I think it also allows for an increased sense of trust in not the other person, but an increased sense of trust in you. And who is it more important to trust than yourself? How many women I've heard in my office over the years say, like, well, my biggest and men I've heard say too, the biggest mistake I made was marrying that person. Well, at the time, it seemed like the right decision. So I don't know that it was a mistake. And especially if you had kids, or it wasn't all bad, it wasn't a mistake. It was the right decision at the right time. Having said that, when you are more grounded and you have more life experience now, obviously, and you do the work like you are just by listening to this podcast, you go in with a different perspective. You go in with more clarity, like I said earlier. So do the work of grounding. It will help you. Let's try an exercise right now. Now, if you are listening to this podcast while you are driving, do not do this, okay? But if you could pull over, put your car in park, you're in a safe place, or you're listening to this at home, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment and just uncross your arms, uncross your legs, and take a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. A couple of times. And I'm going to ask you to scan your body from the top of your head down through the bottom of your feet, noticing if there's any tightness, tension, or stress anywhere. And if there is, you're just releasing it with each natural breath. And I want you to remind yourself, as you see yourself, maybe visualizing you in nature somewhere, walking barefoot through the grass or through a meadow or on the beach, and feeling safe and peaceful and calm, and reminding yourself that it is you that is going to walk the longest journey with you. So being kind to yourself and being really clear about who you are and what you're seeking, and not settling for anything other than that, is critically important. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. I will offer a journal prompt before we end. And maybe if something came up during that little meditation, you could write about that in your journal as well. I guess the biggest message that I want to give you today is that grounding is not about standing still. It's about finding your center, finding the core of who you are, so that you can move forward in a peaceful way and in a powerful way. I'm going to say that again because I really think it will resonate with many of you. It certainly did with me. Grounding is not about standing still. Instead, it's about finding your center so you can move forward with peace and power. So today's journal prompt is to ask yourself this question: what helps me to feel most grounded and safe in my body? And how can I bring those characteristics, those traits, those qualities into my dating life? What helps me to feel most grounded and safe in my body? And how can I bring that into my dating life? Thanks for joining me. Feel free to send me questions, feedback, comments, Stacey@staceyrose.com. Certainly hit subscribe below, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Thanks for hanging out with me on Divorced Women Dating. Dating after divorce is definitely an adventure, and honestly, it is way more fun when we do it together. Hit subscribe so you don't miss a single moment of the helpful, hopeful, or just really relatable episodes. See you soon.